What's up, Pirates? Wraith and Jim with AwakenedTCG, and we're back today with another video. So today we're going to be talking about some of the results that we've been seeing in OP05 meta over in Asia. Kind of talk about what we're seeing, what's popular, what's been successful, and trying to get a grip for OP05 for when we get it in December.
Yep, so we have the results here on One Piece Top Decks again. Not the 100% most accurate and greatest website for results, but it is good nonetheless. And as you can see, you don't have to be a engineer to see that there is a lot of purple, whether it be red purple La, red purple Luffy, or just purple Luffy topping these events. Purple got a insane buff into this OP05 meta. Just tons of good cards finally getting printed for purple, and I think it is finally their time to shine, as it's been a week now over in the East, a little over a week, but as you can see, even up until the end of the week here, they have purple is showing up big time, and I think that is a good thing. Red still kind of in the background, and a little sprinkle of yellow and blue-black Sakazuki. Not 100% sure if this is just because, people love to play the new decks when they come out. I think we'll get a more accurate representation of what is the best after like a month or so. But for now, this is what's topping. People are topping with Enel, Sakazuki, and Luffy. All new leaders.
Yeah.
Performing very well.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a combination of not only did purple get a lot of good support, they also got a lot of new leader purple cards that are actually pretty good.
Oh yeah, in the ultimate starter deck. Speaking of the ultimate starter deck, let's go over our first here is going to be red purple Luffy. And if you don't know what this card does, it is going to be in the ultimate starter deck coming out later this month or next month here for
November.
us. It's going to be November for us.
November.
And that is going to be, he's a 6K leader, the second 6K leader in the One Piece card game right after Whitebeard. And he's going to have only 3 life, which you'd actually be surprised is not that big a deal, because this card is amazing. And the effects can be activated main once per turn. If you have 0 Dawn cards, or if you have 8 or more Dawn cards, you can just add 1 Dawn deck from the Dawn deck as active, which is absolutely amazing. For instance, if you're at 8 Dawn exactly and it is on that turn, you can just use his effect and play a 9-cost Whitebeard in that same turn. As you can see, we have a sample deck list that topped. They are running a lot of big cards like the 10-cost Monkey D. Luffy, the 9-cost Whitebeard, and the other 10-cost Monkey D. Luffy, as well as a plethora of rush cards. Really strong. A little splash of red. We know red's amazing, and the new purple is also amazing. So I think this deck is a match made in heaven for sure.
Yeah, I mean, we see cards where it's like you can control tempo, even with that 4-drop law, you can control your opponent's hand size.
Yep.
Right. So this deck really has an answer for a majority of things that it would be thrown at it. And on top of that, having 6,000 power makes it so hard to overcome. Yeah, the 3 life can get a little scary at times, because normally you're versing a 4 leader or a 4 life or a 5 life leader, and so they'll naturally have more cards than you. But just being able to ramp so fast, hit 10 Dawn way faster than your opponent, go back to 0, and then use your ability again on your leader to just continue that pressure and ramping. I feel like you just have a lot of momentum going in your favor and a lot of answers for what your opponent throws at you that makes this deck successful so far.
Yeah, a lot of great tops and a absolutely fantastic deck. Next up, we will have another purple Luffy deck. This one just the new mono purple Luffy from the OP05 set. And he's going to be a standard 5 life and 5,000 power leader, and his ability is going to be activate main once per turn. You can add the top card from your life to your hand, and then if you have 0 or 3 or more Dawn, he's going to add 1 Dawn from the Dawn deck as active. So essentially just a draw card and get an active Dawn. Insanely powerful ability that allows you to play these big bodies or just play bigger cards on curve earlier. So as you can see, this deck basically runs majority new cards from the new set, and then a couple old cards just for things like ramping and stuff like the King for KO.
More clear.
Yeah. but just a super, I think, consistent deck, especially with the when you're at sea you fight pirates card, which is going to search, yeah, the entire deck minus the animal
Everything.
kingdom minus the animal kingdom cards, but still that card is never going to whiff. Also has a trigger. This is another just fantastic deck. Purple finally got the support it needs to be a meta contender.
And we see cards like this Captain Kidd where you can just become a 6,000 leader, or even like on that red purple Luffy, you can become a 7,000 leader for the whole turn. It's pretty insane, right? So you just have these big body cards with great effects that just allow you to have so much pressure on the offensive side and defensive side.
100%. Great blockers like the Law, which is going to get rid of their hand. Queen, going to buff your hand. This card's always been busted. It's been an outlier in purple for a while now, but obviously these new decks, now the purple's good, are going to run it as well. Another blocker in Queen. Or sorry, in the new Kid card, which is going to help you when you do any sort of Dawn minus effect.
Yeah, so I mean, purple's in a amazing spot in OP05, so you know, purple enthusiasts, purple enjoyers are definitely going to be loving it when that comes out in the West.
Yeah, we are eating good. I don't know if red is dead, but purple is definitely on top for once. So next up, we'll have another purple deck. It's going to be Red Purple Law, and for those of you that don't know what he does, another one in the Ultimate Starter deck coming out in November. He is going to be a 4-life, 5,000 power leader, and activate main once per turn. You can do Dawn -3, and then you can put one of your opponent's characters with 3,000 power or less at the bottom of their deck, and then also you can play up to one character with a cost of 4 or less from your hand. All in one go for Dawn -3. This card is insane. It's definitely going to be the best aggro deck nowadays, just because you are constantly shooting out these 4 cost, usually 5,000 power beaters, just swinging every turn, taking out their hand, and never ever running out of card advantage for the most part.
Yeah, I mean, I've definitely tested this deck extensively now. It is insane. 100% the best aggro deck, not only because you get to play multiple characters around because of that effect, you can also KO 3,000 or less, and you play cards like Otama, Gordon. There are these combo cards, like even the new 4-drop Law that minuses 2,000, right? So just a better Otama because it gives you an offensive body. Cards like these allow you to combo and KO basically anything on the board. Even round table, if they have a 10-drop 12k power, you pop that, you -3 with leader effect, and it's KO'd, right? And you get to play a character on top of that. So as long as you're seeing your cards, the momentum will never stop with this deck. The only issue is if you're seeing your cards, you'll never really ramp to, you know, some Dawn amounts that are high. When you're going for lethal, you might only have 2 to like 6 Dawn available to attach to swing, but that's fine if you just keep playing your game and removing board and keeping pressure. You should never have to worry about that anyway. But yeah, this deck, you know, red was the best, purple is now the best. Combine the two, you have this deck with a lot of synergy, and it's basically just the opposite of the red purple Luffy, where it's, you know, more big bodies, more late game. This is just super rush aggro, clear board. I'm gonna win in a couple turns.
Yeah, this deck, honestly, I'd say is more terrifying than Zoro. It's just the speed that it can start swinging at you for 5/5/5. Like, this deck is terrifying, as well as getting rid of your board at the same time. This deck is definitely going to be one to look out for in November, for sure. Anyways, next up, we have our first blue leader. He is going to be the new blue-black Sakazuki with this sample deck list. And for those that don't know what he does, he's going to be a 5,000 power leader with 4 life. And he's going to be activated main once per turn. You can discard a card and then draw 1 card. Just a free cycle on the leader for nothing. And then also for free, when he attacks, you can do cost -1 to any of your opponent's characters. The leader, just straight off the bat, just 2 amazing effects with absolutely no cost that you can do every turn. So that is already fantastic. And then we come to the fact that blue and black not only receive some fantastic cards this set, like the 7-cost Borsellino that are going to combo insanely well together, but the bottom deck effects with the cost reduction is just even better than KOing. It's one of the strongest things to do in this game, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, this deck is definitely more your speed. You dabble in playing black a little bit. I tend to stay away from blue and black. I'll definitely have to make this deck to give it a go and learn it, obviously, when I'm trying to practice the matchup. But it seems insane, right? You get a free cycle with no cost. You get a free character -1 on one of your opponent's characters with no cost. So now all of your bottom effects, like you said, can just be played at an extra 1 cost higher. Is amazing, and it definitely makes this deck terrifying.
Oh yeah, tons of back to hand bottom decks. This deck is going to be one to look out for. I think it has a little bit of trouble with aggro because it can't keep up with constant bodies on board. However, still an amazing deck. Definitely gonna destroy some decks that like to play out like really large bodies, as it can just usually delete them with when it minuses its cost. But strong deck, and if you like playing like control, this is going to be the deck for you in OP05, I can guarantee it. And last but not least, the boogeyman. From what we've been hearing, there's been some tweets about this deck that I've seen that painted in a pretty bad light. Yellow as a color has already been pretty luck based, but this one brings it to the top, or over the top. It's going to be Enel. He is a 5,000 power leader. You've probably all seen him by now, and 4 life. And when your life hits 0 on your opponent's turn, he's going to discard 1 from hand and put the top deck from your, or put the top card from your deck to your life. So it's basically a cycle because you trash 1 and you get a free 1 in your life. So it doesn't cost you anything. And if you do this over multiple turns, this leader goes from having 4 life to having who knows how many. Not to mention all those extra life you're getting have the chance to be any of these wonderful, bountiful triggers in this deck. So,
yeah, I mean, we'll take it back to where you said there's a lot of people complaining about this deck. People are saying, oh, you know, luck is the greatest factor in OP05. No more skill based. Like back then, you could skill gap your opponent. You know, deck construction. If you build your deck and you know those 5 card differences would you know have an effect on the match, and now it doesn't. We've been seeing all kinds of things. I have seen a little bit of people praising this current meta OP05, but I think it's still way too early on to have a very hard opinion on what's true and what's not, because from my experience, all the tweets that I've been seeing have been purple Luffy, blue black Sakazuki, red purple Luffy. All these decks, people are tweeting that they're playing them, showing off their tournament runs, and they're all beating Enel. So I've been hearing the most complaints about Enel, but all I'm seeing is Enel getting beaten out from all these tournament runs that I've been seeing. So not sure what to do with that information, but it's definitely out there on Twitter if you want to go ahead and look it up. This deck though is probably going to be my favorite of the new OP05 leaders. Just being able to be at 1 life and your opponent having to swing 3 times in order to kill you is insane, because you have cards like the A-drop Katakuri to always keep their board in check. You have cards like this Enel that'll literally never die, and so these things will definitely keep your board in a state to where your opponent can never swing 3 times to actually kill you. Definitely going to be my favorite deck to build and try out in OP05. But yeah, this is the last deck that we're going to be showcasing for the OP05 meta. Do you have any other thoughts?
No, nothing special. Just that this deck is going to be, I think, one of the weaker than the 5 decks we showed today. I'd say it's going to be the weakest, but if you play against it, probably going to be the most annoying. Just because, even though I don't think the whole meta is going to be completely luck based, blah blah blah, like some people have said, you would have to be stupid not to know that playing against yellow involves a ton of luck. Obviously,
yeah, it's the one color that you could say
yeah.
Can say is very luck based.
I mean, yeah, you use Enel's effect. That top card of your deck is going to be anything and everything in this deck. I don't think there's one card that could actually tell you what the top card here is. So you're kind of just hoping, like, say you swing for game and then you have one more swing. This Beige, if they got it off top, can just completely destroy you. Or Sanji adding an extra blocker. Yellow is just a color that's going to do these things, and Enel, I think, is the first deck to just crank it up to the max, because he technically has infinite uses of this if you play cards like Yamato and Katakuri to add extra cards to your life and guarantee that the next turn you're going to be able to use it once again.
Yeah, All right, Pirates, thank you guys so much for sticking to the end of the video. We really hope you guys enjoyed our commentary over these new OP05 leaders that we're definitely going to see in the future, especially for us over here in December. But, you know, kind of give you a little bit of insight, you know, some tips and tricks, what you're kind of going to expect. But the OP05 meta is still very early on. But with that said, we appreciate you guys. Like this video, subscribe to our channel, comment down below what leader in OP05 you're most excited for, and we'll see you guys on the next video. Peace.